All right. So today in reading, guys, make sure you're paying attention. Today in reading, we're going to learn a new skill today, but we're going to still save our story. We're going to use the same story that we used yesterday. Aiden, make sure that your earphones are in, okay? All right. Maddox, did you have a question?
We can't see your screen.
You can't see my face?
We
right.
We can't see your screen like on your computer.
Are you making sure that it doesn't have the thumbtack somewhere over somebody's face?
It's not on.
Try re-logging. So log off and log back in again. See if that helps.
Mommy, can I?
All right. So while we wait for the Chapman boys to join us again, what we're going to do is we're going to say our high frequency words. So let's see.
What is that? Drink of water.
Do what?
What is that?
What? Oh, we're going to focus on the screen. All right. Uh-oh. Let's start this over. Mm-hmm. All right. So we're going to say our high frequency words, but first Miss Fullington's going to say it and then you. So whenever it's your turn, I'm going to point to the screen. So you have to be paying attention to in order to say the word. Ready? Bess.
Bess.
Does.
Does.
End.
End.
Job.
Job.
Left.
Left.
Men.
Men.
More.
For.
See. Than.
Watch.
All right. So now we're going to do our spelling word. Okay. So make sure you're muted. Remember, we don't unmute ourselves. So make sure you're muted. Double check. Okay.
Oh my God. Miss Fullington.
Landon, do you mind muting yourself, please? There you go. Perfect. All right. Now we're going to do our spelling words. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Yes. Job. Hug. Rest. Frog. Hum. Left. Melt. Plum. Shut. Good job. All right. So those are our high frequency words and our spelling words. All right. So we're going to switch over. So I did have a fun video, but I cannot get it to work. So what I'm going to do is going to go straight into our lesson. And so what we have for our lesson today, remember Miss Fullington said that we're learning the new skill, author's purpose. So Mrs. Fullington's going to share her screen to share the new poster that we're going to be learning today.
What do you mean by that?
You'll see. Let's see. All right, so everybody should be seeing a poster with 3 pies on it. Do you see it?
Yes.
All right, so this is author's purpose. So why do authors write? So they have one of these purposes. It's as easy as pie to remember. So the first one is persuade. Persuade is when the author tries to persuade readers to agree or to do something. So if Mrs. Fullington was to read a book about supposed to be reading a book about maybe I think the author thinks that frogs are better than snakes. So the author's trying to change my mind or think a different way about frogs and snakes. So that's one example. The next one is to inform. When I think of to inform, I think of Mrs. Fullington, like a teacher. Inform teaches you facts and information. So the author gives facts and information about a topic. So normally inform would probably be learning about the planets or learning about how cars work. Or if you like to play video games, maybe a guide to tell you how to do something for a game. That's to inform you and to teach you how to play that game. So that's why Mrs. Fullington says inform is like to be the teacher. It's teaching you something. Entertain. Entertain is when the author writes for readers to enjoy. So when I think of something to enjoy, I think of fairy tales like princesses and princes and maybe dragons or like maybe some kind of magic like Harry Potter. That's to entertain because it's fun. We like those kinds of books, right? So one example that I know of in class, we read the book called Creepy Pair of Underwear. And it's about the little bunny who thinks that he found some glow-in-the-dark underwear that he really, really wants. And so his mom lets him have it. But something happens to those underwear and it creeps him out. So that I know that's pretty funny because we don't think as kids underwear are creepy. So that's really funny that he's kind of a little freaked out about some glow-in-the-dark underwear. So that's a funny one. Or maybe it's like the book Captain Underpants. How many of y'all have read Captain Underpants? Or Dog Man? Yeah. So those two books are pretend because a dog normally does not wear a police outfit, does it? No. And we don't have a superhero that helps people and is very, very silly, right? Yeah, so those are pretend stories. So that's going to be your entertaining because they're pretty funny. So with that being said, it also says, how can you figure out the author's purpose? So let's hear some steps. So first, the step you're going to look for is look for clues about the genre. Yesterday, we read the book Spoon, right? So in Spoon, we figured out that the type of story Spoon is a fantasy. Do you know why we think that it's a pretend story? Why do you think it's a pretend story? Roy?
Spoons and stuff don't talk.
That's absolutely right. So that's how we know the genre for that is a fantasy. It's a pretend story. So that's what they mean by saying find the clues of the genre. Then the last step is to ask questions about what you read and find the answers. So when we read the book Spoons yesterday, didn't we ask ourselves some questions? Why do you think Spoon thinks that he's not very special? So that's why we do that. Kaylin, have a seat, please. I understand, but have a seat. Thank you, babe. That was very sweet. All right. So with that being said, we're going to go right into our story. But we're only going to look at 2 pages in our story about author's purpose. So, but first when we do that, we're going to go over our power words really quick, and then we'll jump into our story, okay? All right, so I'm going to stop presenting. All right, who remembers some of our power words from yesterday? Does anybody remember one? Murphy, which one did you remember?
What is power tools again?
Power words? So power words are our vocabulary words. Sometimes we find them in the story that we read, like spoons. Remember in the story where they go to his aunt's house and she is so proper, right?
Yeah,
Proper.
but on one word you cut it out.
What word did I cut out? The first one? Oh, the first one was, I think it was this one. Compliment.
Compliment.
So the first word we'll do today is compliment. Everybody say compliment.
Compliment.
Awesome. So a compliment is a nice thing to say about someone. So you're saying, hey, Murphy, how are you today? I love your shirt. Your shirt is red. That's an awesome color. So I just gave Murphy a compliment on his shirt. All right, so that's compliment. The next one is proper. Everybody say proper.
Proper.
Good job. All right, proper is when someone who is proper is polite and behaves well. So they know how to act and they know how to act a certain way. So like in library, we know how to act. So our voices are what? Off. And then we have our listening ears on because maybe the librarian or the library teacher is reading us a story. And so we have to listen on instructions also how to check out books. So that's the proper way to act. So it says here, someone who is proper is polite and behaves well. All right, the next one is blue. Everybody say blue.
Blue.
Blue is not the color, but the feeling. The feeling. So when you feel blue, you feel what?
Sad.
Sad. Yeah, we feel sad. So William here felt sad when he could not go to the party. Sometimes when we feel blue, I miss my best friend, right? Or your parents. Yeah. The next one is useful. Everybody say useful.
Useful.
Useful. Something that is useful is helpful. So it says forks and spoons are very useful at mealtime. We don't want to eat with our hands, right? That's not how we eat. Maybe sometimes like hamburger and french fries. But spaghetti, do we eat with our hands? Who's heard of that? That's crazy.
No.
So that's why forks and spoons are useful. Good job. All right. Mock. Everybody say mock. You just did mock. You copied Mrs. Fullington. So a mock version of something is not real. It's pretend. So it says she set up a mock doctor's office for stuffed animals. So she's mocked the doctor's office and she's acting like the doctor. All right. Next one is local. Everybody say local.
Local.
Yeah. So Kaylin said local farmer. That's absolutely right. Something that is local is in the area of where you live. So it says here, we visited the locals farmers market. And so you see the lady buying produce from the farmer. So that's local because that's where she lives. All right. The next one is elected. Everybody say elected.
Elected.
Elected. All right. Someone who's elected has been chosen for the job. So sometimes in Miss Fullington's class, I will elect students to turn off the light and to close our door. So that's elected. So the last power vocabulary word is realize. So it says here, everybody say realize. I see Roy saying it. So when you realize something, you know it and you understand it. So it says here, it took Jen a minute to realize the answer. So she was like, oh, I know the answer to that question. Silly me. So she finally realized. So it says here, sometimes babies may not realize that weather changes, but we do, right? Because we can understand when it rains and when it snows or when it's cold outside. But babies, they don't understand that right now. But we realize that the weather changes. Murphy, did you have a question?
It did it again.
It did again. Is it the last one?
I pressed the screen to see if it was doing it, and it was.
All right. Was it the last vocabulary word you didn't hear? Yeah. So it's the word realize. Yeah. So realize means when you realize that you know the answer. So it said it took Jen a minute to realize that she knew the answer. All right.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
I can only see your face when I press the screen.
Oh, so maybe when you only press the screen, so when you click on it, you can see my face, but then it goes away. So if I present myself, let me present myself and see if maybe that'll fix the problem, because sometimes that happens. We're having some issues with Google Meets, and I'm sorry. Let me see if this will help. Let's see. Here's the story. All right. All right. Can you see the screen, Murphy and Maddox? Do you see the spoons?
Yes.
Maybe. Okay, so maybe that'll help. All right. Careful. All right. So I'm gonna have it read to us, and then we're gonna talk about it. Okay. All right. So go ahead and make sure that you're muted and you're sitting up straight, because we gotta remember how we have to focus. When we read, remember, monitor and clarify. We're focused and we're listening. We turn our listening ears on. Mm-hmm. Do we have our earphones in? Mm-hmm. All right. So we're going to have it read to us.
On Sundays, Spoon goes to visit his Aunt Silver. He has to be on his very best behavior there. She's very fancy and proper. Goodbye, darling. Ta-ta.
All right. So it says here,
I couldn't hear my headphones.
what clues tell you what kind of text you are reading? So what clues tell you that we're reading a fantasy?
That they look fake.
Roy, what else did you say?
Because the spoons are talking and because spoons don't have hands or hands.
Yeah, that's a good one. Murphy, did you want to add to that?
The spoon has to be on his best behavior because his aunt Silver, she likes her house to be fancy.
Yeah, do you notice that Spoon is wearing a what?
Tie.
He's wearing a tie, so he's being proper, isn't he? So that's how we know that a spoon doesn't act proper. A spoon's job is to be useful, right, when we eat. So just like Roy said, they have arms and they have eyes and a face and they're talking. So that tells me right there that this is is it a persuade, inform, or entertain? Landon, did you know the answer? Is it persuade, inform, or entertain? Oh, you need to go to the bathroom? Yeah, go ahead. And you have to wait after she's done, okay? Roy, what was that? Persuade, inform, or entertain?
Entertain.
Yeah, so it's a little silly, isn't it? All right. All right, so I'm going to flip our page to page 51, and then we will go ahead and do our seesaw activity, okay? So let's see, I'm going to page 51.
Can I go to the bathroom soon?
Yes, you may, quietly. All right, so let's listen to this one.
Meanwhile, if only Spoon knew what his friends were saying at that very minute. Spoon is so lucky, said Knife. He's so fun and easygoing. Everyone's so serious with me. No one's ever allowed to be silly with me like they are with Spoon. Clang, clang, bang.
All right, so with this being read to us, what new clues about the genre have you found? Dixie, go ahead and unmute yourself, sweetie.
It isn't a question. I'm just can I use the restroom?
Yes, you may use the restroom. Thank you for asking. Sophia? Oh, you're okay. That's very responsible. So what the story has shared with us is that the author has shared the problem Spoon had, and it's giving more details about the problem. So it says here, remember Spoon thought that he wasn't very important. And so it says here that Spoon is so lucky, said Knife. He's so fun and easygoing. So it's saying right here that everyone has to be so serious with me. Why do you think we have to be serious with the Knife?
Because they're sharp.
Go ahead and unmute yourself, Kaylin.
Because they're sharp.
That's exactly right. All right. So it says here, what do you think is the author's purpose for writing this text?
I can't hear you on my headphones.
Okay. So, but you can hear me here, right? Here we go. Murphy?
About Spoon's day.
Spoon's Day. So about Spoon's Day, though, who reminded Spoon that he was very special? Murphy? Who reminded him?
Because he can make noises and Knife can't.
Uh-huh. But who was the actual character that reminded him that he was so lucky and special? Do we remember? So I'm gonna, Sydney has the answer. Sydney, why don't you share?
Knife.
He's nice, but who reminded him he was nice and special? Do you remember?
His mom.
His mom. Yeah. His mom. His mom said, I wonder if you realize just how lucky you are. So she kind of turned it around for him to realize, hey, maybe I don't need to change myself. Maybe I am special just the way I am. Yeah, those are some wise words, right? Those are some special words from his mom. All right, so we're going to go ahead and share with you what your activity is going to look like in Seesaw. So I'm going to present my screen to the Seesaw page. All right, so we're back in Mrs. Lil's Seesaw page. So you're going to click on the Activities tab, which is the light bulb, and you have two activities right here. So you have the first one right here, and it says short E, short O, and short U. So just like I think it's yesterday, did we do a word sort? Yes. We did. It was the day before that. It was on Monday. So on Monday, we did a word sort, and you're going to do the same exact thing. You're going to say the word, and then you're going to find the middle vowel sound, which this one has a sound. So I know that I need to drag this dull word into the short U. And so you're going to do that for all of the rest of the blue rectangle words. And then when we go back and we finish that, make sure you click that green check mark. The next activity involves with author's purpose. So it says here, tap on the add response to begin the activity. 2, tap the T to be able to drag the different purposes around. So those blue little squares have inform, persuade, or entertain. So you're going to drag those squares into those white little rectangles, and then you're going to place them in there, and then when you're done, you're going to press the green check mark. So right here, remember that inform is to teach us something. Remember, it's to teach us something. Persuade means it's going to change our mind. And entertain means it's something that is probably going to be funny or a pretend story that is not real at all. So those are the two activities, and those are the 3 vocabulary words that we learned today, okay? Does everybody understand the activities? Thumbs up if you can understand them. All right. So, guys, this is all we have for reading today. So what you can do is log out of this meeting and go straight into Seesaw, okay?
Okay.
See you later. And if you have any more questions, you can just stay on here and I can answer your questions.
Miss Lou, I have one question.
Yes, Miss McKenzie?
Can you say the second activity again?
I sure can. So, I'm going to present my screen again. So on the second activity, Mackenzie, what you're going to do is you're going to drag the, there it is. Drag the correct author's purpose to each picture. So here's the six boxes that are blue. 2 of them are going to say persuade. 2 of them are going to say inform, and 2 of them are going to say entertain. You're going to read the book titles, and you're going to tell me whether it's to inform, which is to teach, persuade, which means to change your mind, or to entertain means to like pretend, something that a story doesn't make sense in real life. Okay?
There's something wrong with mine.
So that's all we have for you today. Okay, Mackenzie? Is there any more questions that you have?
No, I think I'm gonna log out.
Okay, sweetie. You have a good day, okay? Bye.